Welcome, everybody. Happy Monday night, September 25th. Charles Posh, Mike Idle. Mike's from Missouri. He's a new member of our Let's Grow Pulling Monday night gang. The great Ryan Roos-Sink. Daniel Green joining us tonight. We're having a little bit of internet issue with Dan. We asked him where he was, and if Charles and Ryan both said if he's in Lyons, Indiana, the internet probably sucks. But we're going to open up the show. We're talking Wagler Fall Nationals in Lyons, Indiana this Friday night and Saturday. Friday night's ODSS drag racing, and then they do some stuff during the day. And then Saturday night is the big shootout, the $10,000 purse for the 3.0 diesel trucks I saw and the Pro Stock tractor. So welcome, everybody. Type your comments, questions in there. If you're a Miami Dolphin fan and you want to know how they scored 70 points. If you're an Iowa Hawkeye fan like me, you've given up on life and you're just going to accept on being 6-4 in every year and getting to go to a bowl game because we won't fire the Francis. I would rather be 0-10 for 2 years than get some freaking talent in there. That boy. I knew Roos would have that. But we don't need to get into college sports, but it was a lot of fun. I wanted to throw that out there a little bit. So welcome, everybody. Like I said, get your comments in there. Charles, Daniel jumps on, but let's jump right into the Wagler Fall Nationals, Lyons, Indiana. Now, if you can't be there, we're going to live stream it this week. Jeremy's here. Yeah, we got the dog. Jeremy Wagler.
Hey,
the house.
What's going on today?
Dude, I feel pretty privileged right now. I'm not going to lie. So.
No, I just got in from working at the track, so
awesome.
A little bit late.
So, the Wagler Fall Nationals really got on the radar. Roos, what year did Jeremy put up the big 10 grand for the Pro Stocks? You remember that? Was that 3 years ago?
19, I believe.
I think you're right. I think this is like the 4th year for it.
Awesome. Well, Jeremy, before we get into the Fall Nationals this weekend in Lyons, Indiana, who is Jeremy Wagler and what does Jeremy Wagler do for a living? And kind of give us the whole Wagler, all kinds of stuff that you do, please.
Just running crazy all the time out here in Odin, Indiana, trying to keep up with all the pullers and drag racers. And we do a bunch of government work too. So we got a lot of things going. It's constantly changing, it seems like also, but it keeps me on my toes all the time.
I bet it does. What's the favorite thing that you do with your job owning Wagler Motorsports?
So basically the best, what I can consider the funnest part of the job would be sitting in the dyno room, running engines and learning the things that we think that we know. You know how that goes. We think that we know until the day that we dyno, and then we figure out, nope, that didn't work, but we try something else and then it does work. So learning things every day and building parts that constantly push the envelope all the time. That's the funnest part of my whole job. Plus running the track, the drag racing track. It's fun. It wears you out at the end of the year, but overall, I can consider it's a job. It's not really. A lot of guys think that, it's fun all the time, but it is.
Yeah, tractor pulling is a job now.
Oh yeah,
and drag racing is for you too. So you guys have something like every weekend, don't you? Pretty much.
It's pretty much every weekend, and we've been talking about it a lot. Used to the track that we bought, it was only drag racing, and it was only basically bracket racing for the most part. But we switched it to drag racing, tractor, truck pulling over sides, and then the Fall Nationals, and then motocross racing throughout the year too. So
yeah, I'm on your website right now. For everybody, if you don't know who Jeremy Wagler is or Wagler Motorsports, go to waglermotorsportspark.com. Check out their schedule up there. Obviously, Wagler Motorsports is their business side of it. But the NHRA chassis certification May 12th and 13th, 20th Century Chevy, NSS shootout. I'm a tractor puller, Wagler. I have no idea what NSS stands for. Motors in May, Amish Country Jeep Cruise. Now, this caught my attention, this Amish Country Jeep Cruise, coming from a guy who has a diesel motor. What's that thing, Charles, he had at UCC when I was there that year? That diesel-powered, loud, two-wheel drive truck thing, majiggy on nitro.
Oh, the infamous shop truck?
Yeah, the shop truck, yeah.
It's collecting dust right now, by the way, Charles. One of these days I'll get it back out.
Charles would drive it, Jeremy. He said that.
I totally would.
So that is one thing that I was going to talk about tonight. How do you, and I was talking to Jim from Weimer there about 5 o'clock this afternoon, and he was talking about his pulling tractor, I should say. how do you find time to play with your own vehicles if you got customers coming at you and needing stuff every day? That's a question for you guys. How do you figure that part out?
You don't. Every builder like you has something sitting in the back room collecting dust.
Yep.
So
That's like the Carlton Cope question, isn't it?
Yep.
yeah, where's Warpath been? He's been working on Connie's pro stocks. He likes it when Mike and Julie take vacation. So he got to drive him and Jeremy Ray got to drive him at Inderley and went 1 and 2 there. So that was pretty cool. So
that's what I think Jim said his tractor is actually sitting at car shop right now, waiting in between jobs.
Well, he's got a Massey, doesn't he, Jeremy?
Yeah, he's got. I think he's a V8. Yeah, that's how we kind of hit it off. Was he's a V8 guy, and I've always been a V8 guy. So it's kind of just because it's different. I always enjoy seeing something a little different than the same normal thing out there. Right? So
if you're just joining us, it's Monday night, September 25th. You have the Jeremy Wagler with us. Great to have you on the show tonight. Charles, Mike, Ryan, and myself. Daniel Green's hiding down there. Well, Daniel's having internet issues, so we just lost him. But I think Dan and Brittany are part of that epic pulling series. Does that ring a bell, Wagler?
Daniel actually helps me at the track a lot. He runs Countryside helping other drag series, but he helps me at the track, and I think he's on his way back to St. Louis tonight. He's got something else going on out there this weekend. So, and Brittany Green and Clark, what's his name?
Kerry
Clark. Yeah.
Yes, Kerry Clark.
Kerry's helping with the epic pulling this weekend, so it'll be I think they are on to a pretty good series there. The epic pulling is growing.
Yeah. If you have any questions for Jeremy Wagler, please type them in, or any comments, anything like that. It's great to have a big name in our world and the motorsports world. And Jeremy just doesn't influence truck and tractor pulling. He also influences drag racing as well. And that's what we're excited about. We're going to be live streaming the drag racing Friday night and the truck and tractor pulling Saturday night. So for you fans that can't be there, head over to beermoneypulling.tv and you get to watch drag racing on Friday night, the ODSS series. And then, of course, we're going to be at the truck and tractor pull Saturday night as well. It is the home of the Shy Diesel Extravaganza for those of you that, hey, what's this Lions? I've heard it about a month ago. It's the same place. Awesome facility. Jeremy, how long ago did you buy that?
2018. So this is our fifth. Yep. So.
And what was it called before?
Lions Raceway Park. It originally started back in 1997 ET Raceway, and I graduated in 2000 high school, and that was our hangout spot back in 99 2000 area. It was brand new, and it was a nice racetrack and a lot of people there weekend. So things have changed since then. Drag racing's changed, everything's changed, but still trying to keep it going and keeping kids showing up every weekend if we can. So keeping them off the street and keeping them entertained.
Yep.
That's something actually. So with that comment, I want to take you in a different direction. Something that you do at the racetrack that is a way to not only give back, but also to feed your own industry in terms of what you do. So Wagler Competition Products it's a full service machine shop. There's CNCs everywhere. I've been in there, but getting people who can operate them is tough. So you've created a technical center there at the racetrack to teach kids how to do this. And you've got a CNC in there and you're teaching this stuff in partnership. Is it with Vincennes University you're doing that?
Yeah. Vincennes University and several other universities and colleges that are involved. But basically, it's just a while ago we was up there mowing. The welding class was in there, so they got welding class tonight. Getting ready to start TIG welding classes here in 2 weeks. Got EMT classes that are running like this Saturday when you guys are down there. There'll be, I think there's 12 students in there right now for EMT class every Saturday and twice a week.
Now I wish my son was coming with me.
Yeah, and believe it or not, it is crazy. We had an XPO driver show up last week and delivered an engine out here, and he shook my hand and he goes, thanks for the opportunity to get a job. And I was like, what are you talking about, man? And he was a young kid, 20 some years old, but he went through a program last year and started off with XPO trucking service, making $32 an hour. So he went from being a high school student, graduated, didn't know what he wanted to do, and he came up to a class and took the CDL program. So we got CDLs, welding, nursing, EMTs, CNC machining. There's like 7 different classes that guys can take from 18 above. So you can be in your 60s, 70s. We've got guys taking it, like grandparents taking it with their grandkids. It's pretty neat, you know.
That's cool.
Yep. So
Super cool.
I'm proud of you for that one. That's a really sweet ad when you did that.
well, thank you. The state helps us with all that, though. I mean, we couldn't do it without them. So basically, we got to go through. We're certified with the state, and we have a really cool interview coming out sometime with PRI show. Jason Sands did it.
Okay.
It's going to get released, but I was trying to get PRI to get other racetracks to do the same thing in their communities if it's available, but I'm sure it is. The racetracks, as you guys know, struggle. I mean, it's not a money making thing. And if you hear guys buying and selling racetracks constantly, it's for a reason. There's not a whole lot of cash to be made off of a racetrack. So we had a deal with Jason Sands. He did it for PRI, basically explaining, saying that, hey, you can take a racetrack and turn it into a educational place while it's not having a race there. So it's not setting every day except Saturdays or nights, you know. So hopefully that'll hit the news sometime soon, and hopefully it gains grounds, because there's definitely a opportunity out there.
Jeremy, will that be posted on social media, or will that be like a live TV show?
It should be on. They send out the PRI magazines, and then they also post social media as well. So hopefully, like I said, I'm sure I'm not the only drag race track out there in the United States that is looking for a extra opportunity to help their community and plus keep the place, you know, going all year long. So I'm glad that ours is kicking off to a pretty good start, and I'm hoping other places take the same thing. So.
Yeah, I mean,
at this point, you're probably one of the more
weeks and weeks and weeks, and you're still paying a light bill. You're still paying property taxes. I mean, you got to kill the weeds, mow the grass. It's not doing anything, but it's still there costing money to have it open. So you're right. Sorry, Ron. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, hell, you're probably one of the more profitable small racetracks out there in America right now. You use it for so many things.
Yeah, and it's not because of just me. It's the whole team. We have I think there's about 8 employees up there right now, and employees, but we have a whole group of guys and women that take care of the place, and all I have to do is run around and make sure all the bases are covered every day. So it's not me by no means. I got to give the credit to them, but the CDL thing is probably the biggest. There's usually 50 to 60 people waiting in line all the time. We just bought another semi, and basically the CDL training is it's the most needed thing in our whole area. So anybody that has a property that can handle buying some semis and putting a course on and getting hooked up with their state, that's by far it's a good thing for everybody.
Is part of the CDL the ability to back the truck down through the lanes, around the corner, and into the water box, and then drive away without hitting anything?
Yep. Believe it or not, I got cursed a little bit at first because we posted pictures of the semis being on the drag strip. I don't know if you remember seeing that 3 years.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't see that either.
I had drag racers bashing me pretty good online whenever we posted pictures of the semis being on the drag strip, you know. But that's where we started it, and then since then we bought a facility right there at the highway, old fertilizer plant actually, and we turned it into a big parking lot and have the course out there. But yeah, believe it or not, parallel parking, that's one of the main things that they test or train on, parallel parking and driving up and down the highways. So yeah, 3 semis now doing CDLB and CDLA, and they're practicing every day, every night. So they're out there pretty much every evening that I'm up there working, and every day during the day. So
that's awesome.
I'm just flipping through some pictures from Ryan Rusink there. from last year. So I just wanted to let everybody know what I'm doing. You guys keep chatting. So
Yeah. But yeah, as far as that, you said it's profitable. That's, to be honest with you, you don't see very many drag strips saying that drag racing is profitable. I don't know how other tracks do it. We've talked to a lot of others, but they normally have a few events throughout the year that makes money, and then the rest of them cost them money. So how do you offset that? The only thing I could possibly think of is doing something other than drag racing up there, and that's where we came up with trying to get hooked up with this doing training. So
smart.
And for those wondering, the training building is that building right there in the background. That's it.
yep. So there,
you're right there.
yeah, we added another section on the back. We're adding TIG welding classes, and the EMT have their own facility in there, and we're getting ready to add another CNC machine in there as soon as it gets all finished up, which is going to be this fall. So, but yeah, it's growing. I don't know where it will take us from now, but as of right now, it keeps us plenty busy up there. And like I said, we're constantly do upgrades around there. And some people probably think driving by, it's like, why would someone do that out in the middle of Indiana? I don't know. My wife asks me that all the time, so she thinks.
I'll tell you why you do it out there, and why we do it out there. It's because there's no one around to hear us do it except ears of corn, and the only neighbors are in the cemetery across the street. And while they're not cheering, they're not complaining either.
Right.
They're not going to complain at us, are they?
Hey, Jeremy, all these classes that you're offering, are these things done through like a vocational, like in conjunction with a high school, or are these for like postgraduates and 18 years and plus, or do you guys kind of team up with like local high schools and bring the kids out and help them with that as well?
So basically, it starts off as the kids that do not want to go through high school or do not feel comfortable setting at high schools. Classes, they can take they call it like an HSE, high school equivalency.
Sure.
So basically, you can get your HSEs there. They used to call it what was that?
GED or something?
GED. Yep, GED. Call it GED. But basically, you can take it from high school, and then once you're 18, you can sign up. Anybody above 18 can sign up for any of the other classes and get qualified through the state to take the class. So, like I said, most of it is free on the state. Yeah, what's that car?
That's what
you tell us, man. He's a regular ear track.
Yep, that's a guy who comes down from Indy, I think, Martinsville, Indianapolis area. But yeah, he comes down, looks like an old granny car, but it freaking hauls ass. So
that thing freaking moves.
Yeah,
it's a scooting car. It's a GM 4.3, but it's basically like a NASCAR 4.3 under the hood V6.
Yep,
it flies.
I think he drives it to the track and everything too. So yeah,
it hauls.
Can you imagine somebody going out trying to pass him on interstate and he just gives it?
Messing with you.
Oh, I love it.
Friday night. So this weekend, Friday night, we do have, and it's not advertised very well. And hopefully with having you guys on and other places advertising it, we need to get the word out that ODSS has a small tire shootout deal.
Yes.
And no one really knows about it. I talked to Greg Jolly a little bit about it. We're trying to get some small tire guys there. I went up to War in the Woods this weekend, Friday night, and out of all the people that was there, to them, not a single person knew that there's a small tire shootout this Friday night at Weigler Park. So,
wow.
Yeah, the rules are real simple for this event. For that part of it, it's 28 by 10.5 non-W tire. Yep. And then are we doing instant green no time, or what are we doing there as far as that goes?
Instant green, yeah.
So instant green no time. There's your 3 rules. That's it.
But Charles, why are we not advertising it? That's what I asked Greg.
Don't know. I really don't know.
We have such a in this area. There was 50 or 60 no small tire guys up there at the No Prep at War in the Woods, and not a single one of them that I talked to knew anything about it.
Yeah, there should have been stuff all over that place.
I talked to Kyle from Hot Shot Secret, and he said, like, no one's promoting it. I said, why are we not promoting it? You know, it should grow. I mean, that should help the diesel thing grow, getting the gas guys there, getting the drag racing side of it growing more. I think we need to just get the word out there more. So we'll work on it. I got several of them showing up, so I told them bring their fast cars and see if they can get up against some diesels and see what we can do this weekend.
Is Mike Bandy coming?
I'm not sure if Mike Bandy is. Eric Tarragant from he's over by Danville, Illinois.
Yep.
He won the War in the Woods big tire last year. He's bringing his small tire car. He's got a brand new build, and several of his guys are coming over with him. So I think we'll have a good little small group, but I think it could be a lot better for the ODSS series if we could just advertise it and have like a good built flyer for it without all the instructions on it, because people always question, this is just a diesel event. Well, it is, but
it isn't.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Hopefully we'll see how it works out. Try our best anyway.
We need everybody watching to share that around. You just heard Jeremy. So small tire shootout. What's that mean to a tractor puller, Charles? How would I explain that to my friends?
You're putting on 18 438s and gripping it and ripping it.
Okay. Sounds good.
Got the mini rod out with the pro stocks, right, or whatever. I don't know how I would word that.
I like it.
Yeah, 28.5. I think that's the only rule, isn't it? Got to have doors, got to have lights, and 28.5 tires.
Yeah, yep.
10.5 tires. So,
Jeremy, is beer allowed in the stands? We have a gigantic fan from Bowling Green that he talks about Busch Light a lot. So it's Mr. Pull Town Nut. Is it bring your own beer, or can they have beer? Do you sell it in the stands?
Yep. Bring your own beer and bring plenty of it. If you drink that
no glass,
if you drink that queer beer, that Bud Light stuff, yeah, we still allow that too. I had to put a Hot Shot Secret around mine this weekend just so nobody's seen it up there at the race.
That Warren, I saw Jack Barclay Photography was there, and then Roos was sharing around some of his photos. Where is that War in the Woods? Is that another racetrack? Is that another event?
That's like a half an hour, 45 minutes from our track. So yeah, it's
okay.
Right here at Brownstown. Actually, I know Justin Wagler, the pro stock puller.
Yeah, very well.
It's within a quarter mile from his house. So
I knew he was close. I didn't realize he was that close.
Yeah. He said he heard
somebody. He says somebody needs to put together a poll for that weekend at War to coincide with War in the Woods, and I think he's right.
It was my first time there, and it is. I don't know. It's definitely a different venue with different.
That's a polite way to phrase it.
That's a really good way to word it.
So I took my oldest boy Jackson, which is 14 here, and he's hooked on it. He wants to. I have a drag race S10 that I drag raced when I was in high school, and he wants to turn it into a small tire shootout truck now. So we're going to see about that with a Duramax in it. But I took him there. I wouldn't want to take your kid there without parents. There's a lot of pot smoking. It's a whole different type of crowd, but at the end of the day, people are enjoying it, having a good race. It's dangerous. It looks very dangerous, but it's keeping the sport alive. I don't know how I wouldn't want to be the owner of the racetrack during the event, put it that way.
Yeah. Same.
It's completely the one thing, Charles, you've probably seen us kind of get after guys standing in the burnout.
Yeah.
The pit.
Yeah.
Guys are going through on a burnout. We try to keep it clear at the track. Well, up there,
they don't care.
I can send you some videos, but there's probably 200, 300 people standing in the burnout pit. And as the car does the burnout, it's like a wave that goes around the car as it's sliding sideways doing a burnout.
It gives me the heebie-jeebies to watch that stuff.
Yeah, like I said, it's great that it's keeping the sport alive. And Jeff Thomas, he comes and tests, the guy that puts it on. He comes and tests at our track, and and super, super good guy, but he knows how to promote it. He gets the guys there and the sponsors there. It's wild to see that it's completely different than a normal race that you would go to. Everywhere you look around, it looks dangerous, but that's looking at it in the eyes of a track owner. I don't know how they have insurance on the place, put it that way.
Yeah. It's definitely the yellow belly of the North.
Yeah. But thousands of people show up, and it's great. It's a great thing to keep the sport alive. How can we do that in a little bit more of a controlled environment? I don't know. I would love to. I've talked to a lot of the racers. I know a lot of them. I would love to figure that out, because I think everybody wants to see wrecks and they want to see sketchy stuff,
Yeah. So bringing it back to this weekend and what you can expect if you show up for this event, I guess I'll reference it to this photo because it's what's on the screen.
I love this photo. I love this photo.
This is
My
the
favorite
footbridge that you see, over the staging lanes for the drag strip, and the drag strip goes to the right out of this image. So turn the corner from the right out of this image, and in the middle there, to the right of the drag strip, that's where you're going to find your drag race pit area, all your concessionaires, all of your vendor midway, and then on the other side of that, continuing to a lot of this image, continuing through the background there, 500 feet away from the drag strip is where the sled pull twin tracks are, and then the sled pulling pits are beyond that, and you're free to walk around through all of it. There's no extra charge. If you're inside the fence, you're inside the fence, and you're free to see all of it.
Yep. Yeah, basically anything. As soon as you come in as a spectator, you get to walk through the drag pits, watch the drag racing, go on into the pulling tracks or the pulling pits, and watch the pulling happening on the dirt track. It was interesting. A couple weeks ago, we had Junior Dragster Series there, and during the Junior Dragster Series, while there was drag racing, we had motocross going. So we had I think it was about 20 riders out there. Dirt bikes, little four-wheelers, kids dirt bike riding, and junior dragster kids running down the strip. So it's all pretty close, definitely within walking distance. So that's the good thing about it.
Yeah. It shied. It didn't quite work out on Saturday. We had things happen on the drag strip, and we actually drag raced longer than the sled pullers pulled. But for this time around, the goal is to be done drag racing, so you can go over and enjoy the pulls and not have to divide your time.
Yep. I enjoy seeing the drag racers watching the pulls after hours. Pullers watching drag during the day.
We do have a campground, but the night parade thing, you're going to have to wait on that one.
What'd you say?
You bring the beads, Mr. Poltown. We'll figure out the rest, okay? So. See here. Comments. Sorry, guys. Catch up. I want to get the flyer up on the screen. Give me a second here and kind of go through this. So, for the pulling fans, Saturday, 6 p.m. it starts. Southern Indiana farm stock pullers, 12,000 naturally aspirated, no RPM, or no miles per hour, excuse me. And then there's a 12,016 mile per hour. That would be these tractors, right, Roos? Probably?
Yes.
Yep.
Those would be the 16-mile-an-hour tractors.
Okay. And then we got Pro Stock diesel tractors, $10,000 purse. Everybody knows what Pro Stocks do. They go womp, 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 womp. And we got $5,000 to win, $2,500 for second, $1,500 for third, $750 for fourth, $250 for fifth. So that's awesome payout there. Hot Farms, $5,000 purse. There's the Wild Goose from Shipshawana. Goose Grave. There's a 3.0 diesel truck. That's a $10,000 purse for the 3.0 diesel trucks as well. $4,500 winner, $1,500 run up. I'm guessing the 3.0 trucks, Jeremy, are going to come out of the woodwork for that $4,500 purse, buddy.
That's what we're hoping. That's do this year shut get back. I don't ask for anything like customers need for putting money for the guys us throughout.
And then see here, open diesel trucks, $1,000 winner. So it's gonna be a fun night of pulling. kind of wrapping it up, really. Honestly, this last weekend in got Diesels and Dark Corners coming up down there in Georgia in November, but this is for us in the Midwest. This is kind of getting to be it. So, Wagler Motorsports Park. I want to keep talking to Jeremy, but I want to kind of talk about the polling a little bit, and then the ODS. And again, the small tire shootout Friday night, the 29th, for all you drag racers. Pullers go both ways. Please share that around. Make a post on your Snapchat, your Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, whatever you're using to get the word out there on that as well. Jeremy'd like to see more vehicles in that small tire shootout. So, Jeremy, what's your pulling background? How does it all start for you for truck and tractor pulling?
Just more than anything. Yeah. Did back in the day, and then after we building for diesel stuff, start so back in 10, 12, something. That's when we're getting pretty involved.
Jeremy's breaking up a little bit. Is he breaking up for everybody or just me?
Yeah, somebody's mic went turned off the echo cancellation, so it's echoing pretty bad for everybody.
He's checking his right now. So
Is that any better?
Can we hear Jeremy now? Jeremy, talk again. Jeremy?
Yep.
There you're back. Yep.
It's definitely.
It was so good, Charles. Why does we get big names on? We always lose crappy internet, Charles.
Because it just proves the best people live in places where you can't be reached, which allows them to excel and get better at things.
Oh, I love it. You're so well versed, Mr. Charles.
I'm full of shit. That's what I am.
No, I know, but you're good at it. So what the hell? Roll with it.
But yeah, hopefully this will keep growing throughout the. It's nothing like great big or that, but we're give back to the pull that been much. Hopefully the fans coming.
Jeremy? Oh, we lost Jeremy. There he is. Okay. So, well, Jeremy, we're going to let you go because your internet's starting to get crappy on us. We're going to see you this weekend. How about that, buddy?
Hey, I appreciate it very much, guys.
Thanks for coming on. Have a great night.
Now it fixes itself.
Now it fixes itself.
Roos, do the question. Do the Roos question.
I don't know which question you. All right, Jeremy.
Yeah.
If you're starting out, what would be your 2 minutes of advice for a promoter who's just getting started and having their first event? And this could go either way: sled pulling or drag racing. I don't care which way you take it. Take it the way you're most comfortable. What's the best piece of advice you could give them?
Boy, you caught me off guard there. I would say definitely you need someone dedicated to it. Like myself, I suck at it. I am going to be honest. We are too busy with the shop. I need a full-time person to take care of the racetrack and promoting, because you got to stay after it all year. You can't just a few weeks before the event like I do. We need to have someone dedicated to it all the time. Don't you agree?
Yeah, it's a 365-day-a-year job.
Yep. And someone that's good on social media, someone that has time to interact with other businesses, other sponsors, all that stuff. I mean, it takes dedicated to that part. And so you're asking me my advice. I'm going to tell you my flaws. I am not a good promoter because I don't have enough hours in the day trying to take care of business and run races throughout the weekend and then spend some time with family, and it's tough. So, definitely get someone full time. I don't know how Shides. I guess talk to Dan and Debbie. They had some full time people doing it for a while, and I think, to be honest with you, it's tough to find that person to want to do it full time, but that's almost what it takes. How does are one of you guys with the Bowling Green, Ohio pullers?
No, none of us are directly tied to them.
Okay. How do they do it? Like you hear so much good things about that pool and that venue. How do they have a whole team that's full time, or who does
No, they
that?
got, I think what Dave Schultz say they got 2 full timers. Charles or Ryan, do you remember?
I
that
think
night we had on?
there's 2 or 3 full timers, but beyond that, like their volunteer team literally is over 200 people.
200 blue shirts. Yep.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
But it's
Well,
been
Wagler, let's get Wagler. What's your favorite color? We'll get some shirts made. We'll make the Wagler shirt.
Yeah.
we got some blue shirts out there. But yeah, to be honest with you, that's what it takes. A lot of volunteers. We team up with the Odin VFW up here. So Odin VFW, a lot of our friends and family are up there at the VFW every week, helping with different cancer rides and different things, And I have a lot of friends and family around here, but it still takes a full crew of people. But I don't have that single person or 2 people to help me full time promoting the racetrack and venues. That's where I lack at. So that'll be a question for you, Ryan. If you can find a person that would want to be interested in doing that, I would be ready to hire someone to take care of.
You hear that? You want to start working and doing what we quote unquote get to do?
I got a guy.
And I will tell Jeremy the same thing I told him a year ago when he offered. If it weren't for my kids being still in school up here, I would move down there, but it's not going to happen right now.
I got a guy.
There's
good schools. There's good schools in Lyons, Indiana. Charles, you can do this.
Well, the schools might be excellent, but can you afford the attorney fees that it would require to make that move happen?
Right.
Well, just get a credit card from Wagler. We'll figure it out.
Signing bonus.
Yeah, there you go.
I even built you a cabin out back, so you got
there you go.
Out back. There's a fishing pond out there. You got everything you need. So easy life.
If I'm doing
you got
my
a hell of
job,
a motocross track to play on.
Yep. Motocross track, whatever you want to do, we'll build it out there for you.
If I'm doing it right, there'll be no time for any extracurriculars.
But anyway, I have to say, I am not a expert at all at doing events. And as you can tell, we're always, all of us, all the blue shirts that are running around there's always something to do. There's not much time to sit around and enjoy the shows. We try to run around and take care of the problems and find the right person to take care of jobs. So,
well, kudos to you for having the stones to come clean about it and be honest.
Yeah,
and I wasn't kidding. People who were watching, if you're interested, reach out to the man. If you think he's
not kidding. He's not kidding. Somebody to do this. Like, we legit did have a conversation a year ago about doing it, and so he does want somebody. That's real. That's real.
I'm definitely serious about that. Yeah, we need someone to run the racetrack and take care of everything and get scheduling done. And it would be a dream job for someone, but it takes that special someone that wants to do it, though. You know what I'm saying? It's not a job for everyone, because it's odd hours and definitely long hours some days, but then other days it's peaceful and quiet up there, and it's enjoyable.
And every once in a great while, that thing comes out of hiding and scares the bejesus out of you on a random Saturday night.
When you started that thing at UCC, I could not freaking believe it. It was insane.
We have something coming with the dragster. I got Cody Fisher, used to work at Fire Punk there. He's coming here in a couple of weeks, helping me finish that project up. So hopefully it'll come out ready to compete with the fast diesel dragsters that are running right now. So we'll see how that goes.
I'm not going to ask you a ton of questions about that. I want to save that and kind of let you tease things. But when it comes to the screw blown setup, the one thing I did want to ask you, are you doing standalone with that at this point, or are you still factory management on it?
Motec, yeah.
Okay, all right. That was it. And no further questions, Your Honor. We'll save that for a future day.
We're gonna have the dragster and the shop truck out with basically exactly same combination. But I've spent the last 3 or 4 years doing nothing but customer stuff. So once we have everything dialed in, I'll have both of them out there running side by side. So
is Andre going to drive again?
I think I'm going to. Yeah.
Heck yeah. I was gonna say he's so busy with a laptop. I don't know if he's got time to anymore.
Yeah, my guys in the shop said that they don't want to help unless I'm driving, so we'll see how that goes.
Cool.
See if I
Oh
can.
well, hey, hold on a minute. Now is that like a not good faith thing because of what Andre did the last time? That's not fair. That's not nice.
No, it was more about basically they're here to support Wagler and support the team here, and
Okay.
felt like I needed to be relaxing and driving the dragster instead of letting someone else drive it. So
All
yeah.
right. I just wasn't going to let anybody pound lumps on Andre.
Nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that net at the end of the track. No.
All right.
Jeremy, you talked about your son a little bit earlier. How many kids do you have? How old are they? Tell us about your family a little bit.
Jay Lee, my oldest, is 17 now, so she's a senior this year, and she's doing that work-based learning from high school. So she goes half day to the high school and then half day in here at the shop. So she's helping run parts out here in the afternoons, and hopefully she's acquiring the taste of wanting to help run the business someday soon. And then Jackson, he's 14, just kind of got out of the basketball. He liked basketball until this year. Now he's all into, like I said a while ago, he's definitely, he's wanting to have this S10 running by next year. So he's 15. He's wanting to start getting ready for some diesel no prep racing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Jace, he's my youngest. He's 8 and 9. Actually, I can't keep up with all of them, but anyway, he's into basketball, and he's always out here playing around out in the shop too. So our house is within about 500 feet from the shop, and they're always out here with me. So I enjoy it. And my wife, like I said, my wife thinks I work all the time, but I don't even consider it work most of the time. You know how that is.
No, we do. Well, Jeremy, thanks for coming on tonight, and we'll see you this weekend, okay?
Hey, take care, guys. Thanks for doing
thanks.
it. All right.
Appreciate it.
See you Friday, bud. Bye.
We had the Jeremy Wagler on, Charles. The Jeremy Wagler.
The Jeremy Wagler.
How cool is that?
Pretty
So,
sweet.
Mike, you're kind of new to this. I mean, I know you're a truck and tractor pulling nut. Had you heard of Jeremy Wagler, Wagler Motorsports Parts, Mike?
So once I saw kind of the lineup today, first thing I did, I was like you, I went out to the website and I was scrolling through Wagler and didn't really, it's kind of in the back of my mind. And of course that Shy Diesel extravaganza kind of jumped off the page when I was looking at their schedule. So I was like, oh, this is that guy, that's that motorsports complex, because I think anyone in tractor pulling knows about that event. So, that I kind of started putting just a little bit together, but makes me want to go watch drag racing.
Yeah, no, it's going to be fun. That's
We'll
what's kind of fun about this.
We'll show you some fast ass tractor motors. That's for sure.
That's for damn sure.
I'm flipping through the comments here. Mr. Pulltown Nuts really on the roll tonight. Are the echoes still bad? That's what I need to know. Did we get that fixed or not?
No, it had been Jeremy, unfortunately, because it's gone.
Yeah. One person I've noticed, guys, if they have bad internet, that's when the echo gets bad. So I think we've got more rain in Richland Center today than we have the entire year. It's been insane how this goes. So, yeah.
I was like the Grim Rain Reaper for my tractor pulling fan circuit this year. So I heard Wisconsin was in a great big drought. So I went up to Wisconsin to go to Toma, and of course we got rained out on Saturday night. And then Missouri goes into a big drought. So I go down to Chapel Hill, Tennessee, who's only ever had like 1 or 2 rainouts in their entire existence. And then of course we get rained out there Friday night. So if you're in a drought, have a tractor pull and invite me. Evidently I bring the rain with me wherever I go.
Yeah, don't come back to Chapel Hill next year, okay?
That's one of my favorite places to be.
So,
well, this summer on the ODSS tour, we were 4 out of 5 for having a race on Sunday due to rain. I really don't want to make it 5 out of 6. That would not be cool.
I just got a text message that Mike Dunklow passed away, owner of the Burning Bucks, Roos. What?
Yes, that's why Mike is my profile photo.
Huh.
Or my cover photo.
Prayers to his family. I didn't know that. Dennis Anderson just texted me.
I think I saw that on the Outlaws. The Outlaws Facebook page might have made a post about that earlier today, I think.
Well, prayers to his family.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks. I didn't mean to bring a big booyah to everything, but just happened to look down at my phone. Larry Richwine's announcing a demo derby tonight in Ohio. So that's why we don't have the great Larry with us tonight. So what else here? Put through the comments. Mike, do you got any polls you're heading to this? I mean, I know you're busy teaching, but are you pretty much done for the rest of the year until next summer? What do you got going on?
Well, I'm definitely trying to expand my fan experience into the fall a little bit, but it gets pretty touch and go this time of year. You know, we're at a very small school, so we wear a lot of hats. You know, we do more than just teaching. We do coaching, school bus driver, driving. But I'll tell you another one that's really starting to pique my interest is that diesels and dark corners. That's something that I'm kind of starting to look more. And Lufkin, Texas. I have never been to the state of Texas. I had a ball getting to know the Outlaws this year and everyone involved with that. And my wife doesn't know yet. Of course, she didn't know about Wisner either. But Lufkin is I'm starting to eyeball that one on the camera or on the calendar pretty hard.
So it's pulling in the Pines, and it's all the money is donated to Veteran Suicide Mission 22. And they do a big truck show and drag race. And then Charles knows more about semi-truck drag racing. I don't know if how much Roos knows about it. I don't know enough to be dangerous.
2 weeks from now, we're going to do it again in Ohio, too. There's a big race coming for those guys.
Okay, cool. That'd be neat to see that. I know that that's the last hook for the Outlaws for the mods, the two-wheelers, and the 3.0 diesel trucks. I'm pretty sure the 3.0 diesel trucks points have been decided already by Stahl. But I think two-wheelers and the mods are still pretty tight, but I'll have to double. I know the mods are super tight.
So that deal with the pulling in the Pines and the Mission 22 thing that they do, the 22 number is significant. That's the number of veterans every day that are seeking a final solution, shall we say, to things. And the fella who is behind that charity directly is one of those veterans. And he has a very fascinating story to tell personally, and he's one who got out of it. We probably should have him on, but I'll paraphrase the story anyhow. For him personally, it was a deal where he was on a particular night was struggling with his demons as a veteran, and he decided tonight was the night. Had the firearm out, he was ready to do it. And he lived in a mobile home at the time. He was down on his luck because of choices he made with the battle that he was fighting. Severe weather came through. It's Texas. Tornado leveled the place. And he walked away and said, okay, God, it's time to have a conversation. Maybe it's not my time. Maybe there is something I'm supposed to be here to do. And that is the beginnings of what this is. So it's a real deal. I've met him, shook his hand, looked him in the eye, and said, thank you.
Yeah, I'm putting the Mission 22 website into the comments right now, guys. So
yeah.
We had him on the Outlawed show last year, Charles, and good dude. We're going to get him on again as well. Yep. So a couple different guys helping out there. And then I think, and I'm going to say it because it's our show, what the hell, that Fox series, Marry a Farmer or Date a Farmer. Have you guys heard about that?
I heard something about it, yeah.
They're talking about filming their final shoot for season 2 down there at Lufkin at the truck pull. So, that'd be kind of cool. So that would be kind of cool. We have permission from everybody at their dragging and pulling in the Pines to let that happen. So I'm trying to find their Facebook page right now. I know I've seen it before.
From a stand's point of view, I really, really like the idea of what they do down there from a fan's perspective, because we're hitting that stride right now where we're getting into like almost what me and my buddies call like the second test and tune. You know, like a lot of your points championships have been wrapped up, and so now you're seeing some of these, you know, freelance pulls or invitation pulls. But to have that one last points hook, you know, almost a full month after everything is concluded in October. I mean, that's kind of like a really neat last hurrah for all us fans. And I love that the Outlaws do it down in Texas because they have such a big group that comes out of Texas down there. So to kind of make sure that they get to play in their backyard and give the mods and the two-wheel drives, which are heavy hitters down there, that two-wheel drive class, anybody can win that class on any given night. That is not a foregone conclusion with the guys that come to play in the sandbox out of that class. So pulling in Texas in October, I mean, what's not to like about it?
What I like about it is, there's something to do all day long. That's why I'm excited about Wagglers this weekend. Drag racing during the day and pulling at night. I mean, if you're going to take a day, go enjoy it with your entire family. And it was fun to hear Jeremy talk about that war in the woods. Charles, is that where that one gentleman got killed last year with his truck? You're the Turbo Tommy guy?
Oh no. That was an official sanctioned race with our series in Tennessee. Okay. There's been some nasty wrecks at War in the Woods. Don't get me wrong; it's a sketch place. It's everything he sold it to be. And just go to YouTube and type in War in the Woods. You're gonna find out.
I'll watch the 1320 video from last year.
Yeah, but no, that unfortunately that was much more serious circumstances, and it still was very costly of a night.
Yeah. If anybody has any questions or thoughts they want to get out there, Charles, I saw that Sidetracked is back. You guys have been doing that for a couple weeks now. Can you kind of, for those people who don't know what Sidetracked is by DHD, let's talk about that a little bit. I saw you and Cody and Roos have been jumping back on there last couple weeks.
Yeah, just it's rebirthing of the old Sidetrack show as Andrew and I envisioned it. It's not necessarily an interview heavy show. Never was, never meant to be. It's just us riffing on topics, and it's not just pulling specific because Andrew and I were ADD and Cody and I are ADD. So we get into all kinds of shit and get opinionated a little bit. And just have some fun. That's all it's meant to be.
I love it.
I love it. Think shake and bake with more pulling or bar stool pulling.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. I'm just flipping through comments, guys. If you guys got anything else.
Well, Jason, I'll say this. I'm not a person that gets bashful on, when it comes to talking, and I'm really excited to be a part of this pulling media ride that I'm on right now. And you had mentioned to me, you said, hey, we might have you on the show sometime, maybe come prepared with a topic or two. So, during my plan period and maybe during some of my teaching time, I came up with like 9 topics. So I've got like a list of just fun stuff here that we can play with if you want to. So,
well, let's tackle one of them.
One of them's just a story that I want to tell, and I think the basic question is, you look back on the summer. We're in September. What are those memories from the pulling season, or what's that one thing you saw that kind of sticks with you? And this is one that I think that the gentleman that I watched do this just deserves a huge shout out. So there's 3 major hats that I wear in my life. I'm a teacher, so anytime I see young kids, young people doing things right, that fires me up. I'm a dad, so anytime I see really young kids, being looked out for, that's super cool. And I'm a huge tractor pulling fan, so anytime I see top-notch equipment, that's awesome. And it was that Saturday night in Chapel Hill, and I was watching the mini rod class, and I'm getting the Theobald boys mixed up in my head. Is Grant's the mini rod puller and Mason's a 2-wheel drive puller?
You got it. Yep.
Okay. Correct. So Grant, and Grant's having a good season. Grant and Renee, they're top tier in points at this time. Grant, he's not just logging seat time. He's looking for a win, and he completes his run, and it wasn't the run that he was looking for. And if I remember right, I think he lit the tires early and he kind of drifted right and had to get on the left brake, and he ended up finishing middle of the pack to bottom middle of the pack. Just wasn't the run that he wanted. And a neat thing they do at Chapel Hill is they'll take the vehicles and they'll drive them around behind the east side bleachers, and then they just park them right there. As long as their class is going, they leave them, and they kind of allow and even encourage the fans to interact with them. And the seats that we get there every year are right on the very top of the bleachers. So that way we can turn around and see the tractors behind us while we're also looking at the track. So I'm watching Grant as he comes around, and, he's a 19-year-old kid. They wear their emotions on their sleeve, and it wasn't the run he wanted, and he's frustrated. You can see him, he takes his helmet off, he takes his gloves off, and, he's kind of putting them down animatedly. And, you just know that that's a kid not getting the run that he wanted. And then I saw 5-year-old, 7-year-old, I don't know, young, very young pulling fans, and they're just sprinting up to him because to them, you know, that's a mini rod driver, you know, that's a hero. And most night, you know, I teach young kids for a living, you know, most 17, 18, 19-year-old kids, you know, they're going to be frustrated still. They're going to wear those emotions. But I watched him immediately flip the switch from, you know, I'm frustrated from this run to, you know, hey, these kiddos want to be me when they grow up. And he sat down with them and he's giving them, you know, fist bumps and he's giving them high fives and he's walking them around the tractor. And I just thought, dude, that is top tier awesome. You know, like that is why that's why I became a pulling fan when I was, you know, this big or whatever. So for him to have that presence of mind and have that maturity to just interact with these kids like that was top tier. That was something that I loved watching.
Plus, I think his mom and dad would whoop his ass.
I made the Facebook post the next day. I was like, you know, hey, this is one of my favorite families in pulling, and an offshoot relative. I don't know their family at all, but the last name was the same, so I'm assuming it was a grandma or something. And she made a comment somewhere along that line. You know, hey, he was raised a certain way. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's some lineage there, if you will. If that's the right word to use, Charles.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a third generation, so he gets it.
Flipping through the Lion Super Pull Facebook page, trying to find those pictures. Mike, I want to show that area that you're talking about.
Yeah, it's kind of. Hey Jason, and I've got them on if you go to my pulling pictures, that's something I try to take pictures of a lot on my Facebook page, so you can kind of see where.
Your personal page.
Yeah.
That's a good story. That's just been fun to get to know you this year because you really, I mean, I don't want to say Ryan, Charles, and I have been around, but we've been around and kind of have our opinions. And I wanted some new opinions on the show. I like having multiple, and it's been fun getting to know you this year because you came from legit super fan status. And
go to my photos, not the photos of me. I don't know what we'll go into there.
Well, it's your teacher. It can't be that bad.
Scroll on down there to where it starts looking like Chapel Hill, and you'll kind of see, you know, behind some things. There's Brandenburg. That's another fun pull to go to.
That's the one they drive under the track or something.
Yeah. It's like an old rodeo grounds, and then
there's Chapel Hill.
Yeah, here's some Chapel Hill through here.
That chain reaction. It was good to see him have a good pass down there.
Mm-hmm.
One Bowling Green. Let's see here. Chapel Hill's awesome, you guys. I got to go my first time this year. It was stupid cool.
So a lot of the people that I talk to say it reminds them of pulling in the 90s with it being like a single track, and they've got kind of the banners. There's the shot I'm looking for. Yeah, so that's where you can turn around. Yeah, and see them all right there.
Oh, look at that high-tech redneck. I just when I see that tractor. That's awesome.
Boy, Jason, Friday night you were cranking out the videos, weren't you, with all the different songs and stuff playing? I think you were having a lot of fun putting your little Facebook, little TikTok style videos on there.
Well, we're going to keep it quiet. I wanted to surprise my dad because this has been my dream to do this for my dad. And then I got a call from a couple pullers in the class, and Mike Beck said, "I'm not going to tell anybody. We're just going to sneak your dad out to Michigan and get a pass on it next Friday night. This coming Friday night, I'll be in Hillsdale, Michigan with the Wolverine pullers. They have a combo class." And then got a call from a couple people. I'm like, yeah, this is not a secret anymore. And I wanted my dad to hear it from me. So that was fun. So shout out to Mike and Sally Beck. They are good people, and they have fulfilled a dream for me. And they're going back into drag racing. And I still can't believe it. I'm still pinching myself. And that little Jeff Hurt is the one who kind of set this up. So that guy, he did it. He did it. And I thought he was joking. And then Mike Beck called me last Monday, and we did the deal in about an hour and a half. So that was pretty awesome. So pretty awesome. So Mike's going to bring the tractor to Hillsdale Friday night. Doug Meisinger, my dad, and Matt Goodwin. My dad's a huge Matt Goodwin fan. Grew up watching him pulling. And I called Matt. I really wanted Matt there for the first trip. So if there's going to be any photographers there, like with the skills of Ryan Rusink or Charles, please come so I can buy some photos of my dad driving the tractor.
I'd love to do it for you, but I'm previously engaged somewhere else. So
no, I've been looking at flights, but I just want to go have fun. I want to keep it simple. So, but I'm just flipping
through. Reach out to David Wood.
David
Yeah,
Wood.
well, it's Wolverine Pullers will be there. So if on the photography side, yeah, David
That's
L.
D,
Wood.
that's at DL Wood, right?
Yeah, DL Wood. Yeah, he will be. I guarantee he'll be there anyway. So yeah, you'll have something. Yep, he'll be
Yeah. So Hillsdale County Fairgrounds always has a great show and amazing grandstand. Yeah, I'm excited. I just can't wait. I've been checking the weather like every 10 minutes. Having fun. And Mike's been there with High Tech Redneck and says it's a good track.
Hey, there's Mike Beck right there. So there's Tim Kane and my father. This is a fun story. So hey, Jason, this is my father and Mike Beck at approximately 2 o'clock in the morning at Chapel Hill about 2 or 3 years ago. So if that tractor is running just ship shape, it's probably because of whatever advice my father gave him right here 2 or 3 years ago. So
absolutely,
you know it goes. We were the last, and I'm sure everyone said this, but like certified, we were the last vehicle to leave the parking lot that year at Chapel Hill. We had a great time hanging out with the drivers.
Look at Esden sitting there, looking at his phone. That's awesome. Pullers are the best. Pullers are the best, Mike. The enthusiasm that you have as a fan, that's why I get excited about listening to you talk. You and your dad doing this, it just makes me smile. So, yeah. So if you're going to Hillsdale Friday night, please look us up. Come say hi, and gonna get Dad on the old High Tech Redneck, and hopefully have a good smooth pass. So I'm looking forward to it.
So Jeff Hurt was instrumental in that deal, was he?
Yeah, we were driving around when I got to the Enderley Friday night. I wanted to get some photos and videos so I can make a video for Full Pull and for the NTPA Facebook page to post, late that night so people could see it Saturday morning. And he had knew that Mike wanted to go back into drag racing a little bit, and Mike yelled at me, and Hurt goes, "You should go talk to him, Schultz." And then I did, and it's now I own the High Tech Redneck, so it's kind of fun. So.
Jeff had a big season this year for sure, very successful season for him, and
he's going to come on the show here in a couple weeks. I told him once we kind of quiet down with promotions, Pull Promotions, get him on. He was your mini rod champion, and you're also your unlimited super stock champion. The PPL had a fantastic season. I went down to Lumberton, North Carolina. Charles, this was funny. I was announcing he laid one out there, first pass 384, right? And Singletary's there with both of his. Chase is there. Some heavy hitting mini rods, right? And they're like, "We got to reset the sled." I'm like, "Please don't, just don't." I was talking to one tech official. I said, "I've been to a trucker tractor pull." I said, "That was a picture perfect pass. Nobody's going to touch him." But he went 384. I said, "I'm going to tell you a little story about Jeff Hurt. He already won the points. He came here to try a couple things, and he tried them, and they worked. So let's not touch the sled." And they didn't. I think second place was 349. So he just had one of those. You guys know you guys know. Ryan, You've seen it behind a camera. You know when somebody's gone. There's a couple of those every year. They're just dumb. Lock and load at Rockwell a couple years ago at like 900 feet. There's just some of those nights you have a pass like that. So it's fun.
Has Mike let on what he's going to do in drag racing? What he's going to do?
I want to, and this NASCAR NHRA FX.
Oh, he's going to do one of those?
So he's anti all this automation shit. He wants reaction times to matter. He wants to shift. He's got this thing. I mean, he says I can talk about it. He knows. I mean, he's got a plan. He's pumped. He's freaking pumped.
Yeah.
He was in drag racing big time. I mean, I've known Mike and Sally for a while, but now really getting to know him. And I had no idea his drag racing background before he got into pulling, because he bought Jody Ross's. He bought Barbie's tractor. And there's some Max Simpson stories, and when him and my dad get together, it's going to be Mike. Your picture at 2 a.m. is going to be my picture at 5 a.m. So Saturday morning. And
that old 1066. We did the research before we came on here just to be safe, but that tractor was owned by. This is according to a post from like 2013. Don Myers owned it, called it the Little Red Rooster, and then it went to Jody Ross, who renamed it the High Tech Redneck. Then it went to Mike Beck, and then my research just says it went to Ross, and I don't know if that means it went back to Jody and got the name Bad Dog, and then it was last owned by Owen McGill, called it the Code Red Limited Pro. So
I thought Bradish's had one of those, Charles. Now I thought that was DM80. Where's my super stock people tonight?
You may not be wrong. And in terms of the old cast ass version of the tractor, there might be some lineage there back to British. Yes.
Mr. Pulltown Nut. I'm on a diet again after my Key West trip last week, so I gained a couple pounds. So elephant ears, though, I get, if Mr. Pulltown Nut, if William says it, it's got to be good. Randy Proctor's watching on
curious. I'm
YouTube.
going to go do some digging.
I'll be running the laser in Hillsdale. Awesome, Randy. That'll be fun. I can't believe the Wolverine season runs this late in the year, Charles, with you guys being,
that has always historically been the coda on the season. Is that fair? And they get away with it without very much rain events for whatever reason. Must be their geography that they're able to pull that off.
Yeah.
I remember so I went to college. Hillsdale is a college town. There's a small college there. I went to Albion, not far away, and I would make the trip down. It was half an hour to drive down there and go watch the show every fall. So that's kind of the end of it. And had one of the best nights of my life as a fan before I ever did it. So it probably still even ranks up there. Back in those days, they didn't pull on the track that they do now. They pulled in the horse track, and it was sloped big time, like right to left. I mean, big time. Go find old video of Hillsdale. It's insane.
On YouTube?
And, yeah, there's some of it was even the stuff that like I shot when I was there videoing it. And on one particular night, because it was such a, there was a horse track and loose and sandy, the two-wheel drive guys didn't like to pull there. They didn't pull there. And I was there, took my usual spot, end of the old wooden grandstands, covered grandstands, and was doing what I do, and struck up a conversation with a gentleman next to me, and I didn't recognize him. And why would I necessarily? I was 19, 20 years old, and all the drivers I knew, they all looked the same with a helmet on. Come to find out, it was Tom Arps. And I had the time of my life chatting with Tom Arps from the Black Widow truck throughout the entire night. And there's one point where, and it's in my Hillsdale video, where Jim Martell blew a head gasket out, big fireball or whatever. And just before I cut the camera off, you'll hear a man's voice go, "Did you get it?" And that's Tom. And he was like a kid. He was so excited. Did you get that? That was awesome. And that was a fun night.
I want to find that video, Charles. It's under your sidetracked?
Yeah, it'll be on there. Search within that channel, Hillsdale. I'm sure you'll find stuff there from the old days when it was tough sledding. You'll have to go way back. Yeah, you know what? I better send you a link.
Mr. Pulltown Nut, Hillsdale County Fair.com. There's huge or small population county, great time, and lots of Amish food stand options as well. Diet or night? No, Jason, get some Amish pit goods. I will, William. Tom K's watching on YouTube. The FX class is cool. Yeah, we'll get Mike back on the show after harvest and let him do that. So, yes, sir, Wyatt. The high-tech redneck is coming west. So the plan is to apply for Louisville, obviously, and then if it gets in there, they can only take 6 diesel supers. Remember, guys, because they do a combo class. You get dad on the seat there, and then have Weisinger take it back to Kansas after Louisville if things go well. So we'll see, and then get ready for
that tractor has won at Louisville, hasn't it?
I'm not a historian nut like Charles is, Mike. I'll be lying to you if I say I did. I know he's won Bowling Green. It's got some big wins, so I know it's a tough tractor. So I'm going to Raleigh to the North Carolina State Fair, February 13th through the 15th, I think it is. Be out there at full pull, so I'm excited for that. Yeah, Thursday they have 4 sessions, 13th through the 15th. So I'm excited for that. So Charles is looking for a video for me.
I put it in the private chat.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that.
Nope, you're good. And I'm not sure this was the year in question. I don't remember exactly at this point, but it's representative of what it used to look like. If you screwed up, you were going to make a left turn into the stage, and it was going to suck.
I love it. Let's get the sound on here. So I do it right so we can hear it.
That's Dave Snyder before he bought the Legend, before he had Arfons and the Space Invader, back when he had the Crop Duster. Probably want to fast forward it because it's a long time getting that thing spooled up.
Charles, is there a certain one you want me to show?
No, I just that was the first one I grabbed.
No, that's fine. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I don't remember it from memory. What all's in there?
Well, it's only
Tedder,
23 years ago.
Kreider, Stahl, Joe Stock, Martell, maybe Ken Miller's in there. Dave Snyder. Gosh, trying to think.
Ken Miller was back out this year, right, Charles?
Yeah, he's been out. Yep. Don Dean, yeah, I don't know. So Don, now he's got the big turbine in the center, and then the two smaller ones either side. This is the old setup where he had just the second one, and it was up top, and he couldn't see where the hell he was going. I mean, the drop box was like 5 feet tall, right in front of him. He had an old Chevrolet, I don't know, well, he still has it. I think a Chevy 2.4 from back in like the Malaise era in like Cavaliers and Grand Ams and shit that he uses to start those things.
He's that shit, yep.
Ryan Stahl on Wild Ride, owned by Mike Shannon.
So Mike Shannon bought this tractor. This is the old Charlie Wilcox NA mod, not with Charlie's motors, but frame and chassis. This thing's been bounced around all over hell and back. I'm not even sure who has it anymore. Yeah, it was Don Dean. That was the plumber's nightmare, not Bob Swanson.
What year is this?
This was 2000.
Okay.
There's
Actually
Jim Craig
later.
with the Gopher with the 413 Donovans.
Get up the gate. Sitting in front of him out. 3,600.
This is why you need to subscribe to Sidetracked on YouTube, people. It's got the cool stuff.
There's so we had Scott Tedder in this video, but if you go into my page and look for Hillsdale, you'll find from what would it be, 2000? There was 88 or 89 with Jack Tedder running the old Mr. Twister on the same track.
Cool.
Jack is Scott's dad, correct?
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome.
And for that video, the guy who just went sideways, unfortunately, trying to counter steer against lean on the track, that video came from Jim Craig, who was driving that tractor.
Wow. Super cool. No, so I'm looking forward to that. I heard a lot of good things about Hillsdale, Michigan. So we'll be out there Friday night. And we're going to go to Mike Beck's shop on Saturday morning, hang out for a bit. And I'm going to head down to Wagler and catch up with Mackenzie and Doug. So they're going to live stream the drag races Friday night, and then on beerbunnypolling.tv, and then we'll be doing the tractor pull Saturday night. So, Charles, is that where you're going this weekend?
100%. I will be there on the property. I'll get down late Thursday night and then be there Friday, getting the scoop from everybody in the drag racing side. I'll be announcing the drag races. I have no idea who's announcing the sled pulls, not a clue, but I'll be covering all the drag racing side. And then over on the sled pull side, well, you'll probably find a camera or two, maybe two, in my face.
I like it. Sir Ryan, what do you got shaking?
Same thing. I'll leave on Thursday morning, drive out to Indiana, spend a little time with Brad and Andrew Hartman, and then go crash with Charles this weekend, and then try and work in a visit with Austin Boyd on Friday and Ethan Clark, and then come up and go shooting, go drag racing.
Nice. Mike, you going hunting, or what do you got going on this weekend?
So this is kind of a funny venture that I'm invested in this time of year. For 4 weekends in September and October, I go work at a pumpkin patch where I am the narrator on their hay wagon tour. And I actually interact as a character called Maniac Mike. And I try to hunt all the live Sasquatches that we have on site at the pumpkin patch. So North 40 Pumpkin Patch, Callio, Missouri.
Do you have any videos of these live Sasquatches?
North 40 Pumpkin Patch is what it's called. I'm sure they've got something on Facebook. You can. It doesn't take much for me to get into character for that. Maniac Mike and just myself, he's only about a one-off shoot from where I operate anyway. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, let's wrap her up, boys, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, it's fine by me.
Shout out to Mike and Sally Beck. Thank you again for selling me the high-tech redneck. Mike, thanks for coming on. Charles, Ryan, see you guys this weekend.
Yeah.
Again, talking points for future shows. Message any of us. Cody is normally on as well. Larry Richline will be on. Just message us. We're going to talk truck and tractor pulling, whatever you want to do. Ship Shawana's coming up. Charles, what do we need to tell people about? I saw something was up about light limited super stocks.
Yes, there is some changes as far as light limited super stock rules go. I'm not going to quote them from memory because I don't remember them, but it is.
I'm going to go to the Facebook page.
In terms of registration already, like the Wednesday test and tune that sold out in like 53 minutes. So don't ask. 510 Hot Farm were on standby list. They were by like day 2 of it being open. The light limited, we need you guys. We need you guys to participate in the process a little bit and get involved. I understand that there's concerns about the rules and disagreements about what's right and what's wrong and this, that, the other. And we want to present to you a position where you're coming on unified ground. This isn't a points pool for you. It's not territorial. It's a place to come and play. Clint has offered this event as a place to showcase classes just like yours for a long, long time. And we want you to be a part of it. We think there's a need for it. We think you're an important part of the process when it comes to the core of what Midwest Winter Nationals is as an event. We got to meet us in the middle a little bit and do a little bit of compromise. If you think it's an unfair advantage or whatever, well then come and prove that it is. And I know that's kind of putting it on you and calling you out a little bit. Well, I shouldn't have to prove that my stuff's going to suck. Well, if that's your attitude coming in, then I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Charles, can I paraphrase for you?
Yeah,
Here we go.
go for it. I'm being nice.
Quit being a whiny bitch and sign up.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
You're right. No, just do it, man. Like, because we've seen over the years that it does work. Clint's not stupid, okay? He's seen a lot of things. He understands the game. He knows how to put together a rules package. He's able to create a class, and it's not light limited super stock. It's another class, but he's able to create classes where literally like 6 non-compatible rule books all come together, and they do play nice, and they put on a great show.
And they usually end up within like 3 feet.
Within 3 feet,
front to back.
It's the fall, so I'm going to use a very overused cliche football term. Trust the process. It can work. It can work. I promise you, it can work. You will have fun. You'll have a good time. It's a great track, great facility. Come and do it. Like just be there. Just be there. You want instant credibility with Clint as far as what your input is. Show up and do it. That's going to be the first thing. That's going to be the very first thing.
Or, you can just be a whiny biatch and sit home and watch.
I only want to pull slight limited supers at 6,000 pounds. If putting 2 plates on your tractor screws up your program that bad, you shouldn't have pulled tractor. Get out. Jesus Christ. Look, he builds killer tracks, okay? I'll tell you even where to put those extra 2 plates. On the front so you don't freaking crash, moron. I'm trying to save you from yourself. Come and have a good time. We're nicer than this. I promise. Mostly.
That was the glimpse of
sometimes.
For those of you that don't know what sidetracked is, that was the 30-second.
That was 4 minutes of sidetrack.
I love it. I love it.
Starts awesome. Out as politically correct and it devolves very quickly.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'm not young, but I'm capable of helping you put those extra weights on if it comes to that. I will do it for you.
I got somebody asking for getting Sherry Schaefer on the show, and I will, but we had her on, and I did a quick search. Well, Charles was showing where you guys to put your weights on the front of your light limited super stocks. I'm gonna put that.
And if your tractor is incapable of holding up those 2 weights, Sherry Schaefer will introduce you to the folks from Storelock, where they've got drawers that will, while she's holding them. Buy some.
No, I mean, light limited super stocks kind of get thrown in. There's so many rules. It's kind of what Super Farm was for years, Charles. Remember when the PPL and when they could not. There was a time, you fans that don't know this, but an NTPA Super Farm was not within 30 feet of a good PPL Super Farm, not even close, because of the cooler and the slotted cover, right, Charles? Am I saying this right?
No, you're right. And this year, like a bunch of stuff was proposed for NTPA to Super Farm to kind of bring them in line with PPL, and like we did a show about it. My argument was why? Because we've seen them heads up. They don't need it, and I know that. All right, we're going full sidetrack. It should have never been an intercooler class to begin with. That ship already sailed, but there's no need for it. I'm not here to make NTPA guys write a check for one. That's stupid.
All right, that was fun. That was fun.
And
what else you want an opinion on? I'm revved up. Let's go. What else you want to hear?
Whatever. I'm just happy to be here. I'm just waiting for more comments to pop up. Mike, do you want to mess with Charles?
Charles, 15 seconds on components. Go.
I'll make it shorter than that. Fucking do it. I don't care. You've worn me out.
Fucking do it.
Go listen to old sidetrack shows going back 5 years. I railed against it forever. I'm done. Don't care.
Or hell, if you want to go more current, go back 2 weeks.
Do it.
Do it. Is this a bad time or a great time to bring up that the class I fell in love with this year is the light superstock ag, and how I felt that really. So while we're talking component and cast ass, I fell in love with the light superstock ag class, something that I hadn't watched much of until this summer.
What made you fall in love with that class?
And this was actually one of the topics that I'd kind of brought up. I feel like we have lost sight of what when people talk about light supers and heavy supers, I think everyone's mind immediately goes to 5,500 pounds, 7,500 pound. And they kind of go back to the glory days of pulling when you had, 55, 75, 95, the real big ones running the 95. But I have felt that in the way pulling has shifted in the last 10 years or so, that the light, super stock class is actually much more comparable. And I just look at it in my head as the 7,500 pound. And then if they're the 7,500 pounds, and that means the super stock open or the unlimited super stocks are the 9,500 pound, which, we got D21s, and I know it's sheet metal, but we got D21s running in, light super stock. So if they're 75s and then, Jeff Hurt's class is 95s, that essentially means that the 5,500 class of the 90s doesn't exist anymore. And that's kind of how I've swallowed that pill moving forward until I saw the light super stock ag class, and it felt and looked, and then I started reading the rule book on that class, and I just felt that this one feels like a light super stock class, like a 5,500 pound. And I even see that when you see like the Carroll family from Shelby County, Missouri, with like the Levy Leaper. That's a 5,500 pound super stock, through and through. And, when we come to make him with that class, it's very competitive. It pulled at the Iowa State Fair, and I think finished top 5, top 3, maybe, with that cock shut. So I think it's a neat class. And I don't know if we're for ag rear end or if we want component for safety, but that light super stock ag was neat. It felt like light supers pulling again.
Has that class prevalent anywhere else, Charles, in the country? So he's referring to the outlaws.
It's an outlaws only thing, and that's why I don't know them. Like, it's 500 miles for me to go to the closest one where that class appears. And if it's working for them, I'm not going to tell them they shouldn't do it. But is it true to what 5,500 is or was? I kind of don't think so. And I would say light limited super probably is, because the current light limited super is making more power now than any of the 5,500s were back then. And that class, I think, should be a class where you are doing the 300-inch motors and not 504s.
Right.
I think there's a place for that. So that's my only counter argument to it. But I'm not saying it's bad. It just doesn't exist out here where I am for me to really.
Well, I feel like,
more about it.
And Roos, correct me if I'm wrong, Jeremy Paulson's Hawkeye Hooker, is that a single charger?
Yes.
I think so.
That thing runs really hard. That reminds me of a big light limited, Charles. I don't know how big Mike, you know the rules better than I do. How big of a charger can they run on a single on the Outlaws?
We need to get Tyler Ulmer on here. He knows them backwards and forwards. I know what's neat about that class. You get up to 504 or 505, and you can run as many chargers as you want. But the minute you get above 505, you are restricted to a single charger. And my gut tells me that it's either a 4-1, because it just something in me felt like that these feel like 4-1s, or I can't imagine there wouldn't be a size limit on it, because they even put a size limit, or there is a size limit on the big pros out there. So there's got to be a size limit. But
yeah, my outlaw rule book's in the it's at the office, so I don't have it.
They feel once they get over 505 cubic inch. And if you've looked under the hood of the Hawkeye Hooker, I know the first time I saw it in Sac City, Iowa, I took one look at it and I was like, that feels like a 4-1. Like, that looks like a 4-1, but
Yeah, well, the Schluters have some tough running light supers, obviously the diesels, and then obviously the Ulmer with the weapon, and then the blue one. What's he call it?
Eleanor. And that's the old Haley's Comet, I think.
It is.
Cast ass, right?
Brian Bull's old tractor.
Okay.
Charles, suffice it to say, that cast ass light super class, it's rowdy. You ought to see it sometime. Unfortunately, you know a couple of guys who can get you there.
And maybe that's what feels 5,500 about it, is the way that, if you watch like Brent Long back in the 90s, like you said, it's kind of a rodeo, and it does get a little interesting. So it's a fun class. Now, as far as rules, promoter, I'm just a guy in the stands, jumping up and down.
This is why we have shows like this.
this.
We have shows like this so we can talk about it. That's what makes it fun. So
I'll say this: there's a pretty wild swing in terms of horsepower. That's for sure.
yeah, for
You
sure.
get everything from 3 digits to low to mid 4s.
Well, cool. Charles, got anything left in you, kiddo?
I'm just getting ready for one hell of a finals weekend, and just want to soak it in. And I know, like I have said, and Ryan has certainly heard me say this multiple times, and I have not stayed home for a weekend since May 15th, and I'm not going to for 2 more weeks yet. I'm ready to be home for an entire weekend and spend that time with my kids and do some projects around the house and take care of some pet projects and stuff like that. But I know I'm probably 27 or less days away from I'm bored. Because that's just how it goes. It's just how it goes.
And there's only so many things that you can chop down with your hot rod chainsaw, and
I can drag them out, and I've got a project that has been languishing that I need to finish when it comes to the hot rod chainsaw stuff that I need to finish, and I desperately want to, and some other stuff that you're going to see. But, man, when you live this 24/7, gets really, really, really. I'm going to give you a real moment. It's hard to turn it off. It is hard to stop. It's hard. You get tired and you say, I want a break or whatever. But really deep down inside, no, I don't.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I want it to keep going. And so, yeah, the fall is always a time of rest and refreshment, but it's bittersweet as well because you just want, everything that happened and you want those memories to keep flowing and be a part of it. You want to get that adrenaline. You guys as drivers certainly understand this. And to those of you who have been so gracious to allow me to understand what it's like to be a driver, I get it on your level, and I'll tell you as an announcer, I get it too. I get the heebie-jeebies big time. I shake like a leaf for the time leading up to a show start. But 3 minutes in, after that mic is hot, I calm right down, and now I'm in my happy place. I'm in the place I love more than anything else, and that's a high that there's no bottom of the bottle and no drug that you can chase that's going to feel like that. And
it's almost like wearing infinity scarves and drinking pumpkin spice lattes for like 3 hours straight.
Where does he come up with this shit?
I took you right off the rails with that.
Where does he come up with this stuff?
Well done. Well done.
Here's to PSL season, the best time of year.
Oh, the meth stang. It's on rims. It just makes it even better.
Yes. Do yourselves a favor. If you have any interest whatsoever in drag racing and the personal side of drag racing, go follow Jack Barclay. The fact that he shoots tractor pulls is a bonus for us, and we should all be so lucky as to have him show up at one of our shows. That dude is a gangster behind the lens, and he kicks ass, and he doesn't get enough credit for it.
I'm gonna put him in the comments right now so everybody can go check him out.
Hey Ryan, I want
an album from Rockwell this year that is absolutely killer.
Yeah, I saw you one of Linville's
Some of the
pictures.
best stuff. Some of the best stuff I've seen all year.
I'll bring it up quick. White Schulte, hey, I won 18 weeks in a row. Now I'm done to February. College is boring. I want motorsports back and warm weather. All right. Wyatt says was on his mind. Rick Crumright, I'm so ready for 2024 season in Louisville. Yeah, we'll be talking about that pretty quick too. For sure.
Yeah, the applications or however they do that process went out last weekend already. So
yep, they're on their website, and then if you've applied in the past or if you've made it, they send you one in the mail. So I'm gonna bring up Jack's Facebook page is in the comments. Roos is spot on. He is a gangster. He uses big words like that. Jack Barclay shot a cool TikTok of Ridgeland. Yeah. Where's he from? Is he from Minnesota, Roos?
Yes.
Yeah. Carver, Minnesota.
He's
But
kind of
awesome.
a part-time shooter for UPM and does a little bit of NTPA. My goal is to get him shooting more pulling events next year. He'll never outpace his drag racing stuff because his drag racing stuff is too good. But if we can get him at one or two more shows, promoters, pony up. He's worth it.
Yeah.
He will work overtime and he will kick absolute ass. Plus he'll sacrifice GoPros for the cause. He'll put a GoPro on a Mini, won't think twice about it. Who was it this year? Blue Mini, bright blue Mini.
The Fallout?
Yeah. Absolutely yeeted a GoPro like, I don't know, 50,
that was
60
him?
feet in the air because it came off the bracket.
All right, I remember this one. All right, I didn't make the connection beforehand. Got it.
Just flipping through some of Jack's photos. They're awesome. Whiskey's Fine won the Interleague. I didn't get to be on the show last Monday because I was busy, but
is Jack
Indeed,
the
Whiskey
one
is fine.
Is Jack the one who captured the photo of, and I'm sorry, I'm not big in the small tire, no prep world, but the photo was from the track at War in the Woods where, I don't know who the driver is. It's a Camaro, and his like 4-year-old daughter is backing him.
No, that I know that photo broke the internet and made all of us cry.
Yeah.
No, that is not his. I don't believe that's his photo, but dear God, that's an amazing shot.
All right. I wasn't sure if it was, it looks, looking at what he does, it looked like one of his. Okay.
It's very, very much in that style.
Yeah.
I'm not going to find it on Google search.
No, not that way.
Yeah. No. The image in question, I'm not even sure I can find it.
That right there is a shame. That's the end of an era.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I knew this was coming weeks ago. Have not talked to Tom directly, but I knew it was a thing. And I haven't reached out to Tom because I don't know how to. Like, how do you tell the guy who taught you how to do this? Like, thank you, and I'm going to miss you, and damn it, we never got to do one together. I haven't figured out how to put those words together yet.
I real talk. I think you need to be real with him, and I think you ought to tell him. Would you please hold out and do one more show with me?
Yes.
Do it with me.
Yeah.
Come down and call the Super Farms with me, or the whatevers with me at Shipshawana.
Yeah.
And please press for that because I'll be there for that. And I haven't gotten to hear Tom announce in damn near 30 years.
Oh, then so we got it. That's how it's going to happen. I will call him and we're going to do that. We're going to do that.
I would love
I don't care what it costs.
More time.
I'll pay him. I don't care what it costs.
One more time. Plus, that would mean I would get to meet him. So I'm being selfish here, but because I never got to meet Tom.
Tom is the salt of the earth, nicest person you'd ever want to meet. I don't know if this also means the end for him on the sprint car thing because he
I have
bought
a
an
hard time
entire
thinking
series. Yeah, I have a hard time thinking that has taken him to places tractor pulling never could. He's done sprint car races in South Africa because of it. He might have even gone to Australia, I think, with all that. yeah, there's a lot about my style and what I focus on with what I'm talking about during the course of the event that is informed by him, because that's what I learned to do. And gosh, I couldn't have had a better teacher. Could not have had a better teacher. And he didn't even know he was teaching, but he was.
Nope.
He was. And
entertaining in his
I've
mind.
said that before in shows in the past. You know, there's some 7-year-old who is sitting in the bleachers and swinging his feet like an impetuous 7-year-old does, but they're listening and they're absorbing and they're paying attention. And someday they're going to be that kid who's going to, I pray that there's going to be that kid who's going to come up to me, 10 years from now and say, hey, I'm starting this and I want to do this and I'm going to welcome him. Super cool guy. Absolute honor to have known him and to consider him a friend. A lot of times the old saying, don't meet your heroes. Tom Hartzell's your hero. Meet your heroes.
100%.
Worth it.
And I haven't even met him yet.
Oh gosh, I'm still looking for that photo I talked about. And if you put into Facebook "War in the Woods Princess," oh my, do you get some weird shit?
Yeah, I'll bet you do.
We're gonna add the word Camaro in there.
Yes, that's a good call.
I don't need Japanese or Chinese or whatever spa vacations. Thank you, I'm good. Just saying, that's what comes up.
Yeah, Charles, make that happen with Hartzell. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm on that one.
So, well, Mike, Roos, Charles, thank you for coming on. Charles, Ryan, I'll see you this weekend. And is there any way a mod could pull at the Winter Nationals test hook? No, I don't think they can. That damn alcohol,
that's
right?
That's a building thing. Not going to happen.
Yeah, positive.
It's nip and tuck letting the small block minis in there. I'm just saying.
Even though we love to have tonnage there, because that's what he's asking about.
Yeah, sorry, not going to be a thing.
No. So, okay, guys. See you next week. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it.
See you guys.
See ya.
Peace.
Take care, everyone.